Hey, what's going on? David Peck here from Orlando, Florida, better known as Dpeck100. PSA is running a special this month for blue flip items at $15 a piece, and I've really been wanting to get these cards in slabs and decided I'm going to be sending these in. So I decided to film a video of the submissions I have at PSA right now, and I thought it would be cool to document the signed cards because there's some pretty cool stuff here. We're going to start with the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars Hulk Hogan. It was really pretty cool. I purchased some cards online. I obviously already have quite a few of these cards, but I purchased some cards and drove over to the grand opening of Hogan's Beach Shop. And so anyway, went ahead and got a few of these signs. Also got the magazine, the SMR, his card in there, and a PSA 9. I had him sign that too, which was pretty cool. So here's the Hulk Hogan. You're going to see 3 of these. These are nice examples, and he did a nice job on the signatures. Sticking with the same theme, I had caught wind that Jimmy Hart would be there and decided to bring a few things for him to get signed, and so I got Jimmy Hart to sign a couple of his cards. He was so blown away when he saw this one because, you know, it's easy to forget. A lot of these wrestlers don't see the Wrestling All-Stars to get signed that frequently, and when they do, it's a big-time, road back. And so this photo right here, matter of fact, really just about 2 weeks ago, I got a copy of the Wrestling News from 1980, and they had ran them every 2 months. And I want to say it was the March, April of 1980, but needless to say, it had this photo with Jimmy Hart. On the other side of him is Jerry the King Lawler, and it was on the back inside cover, which was pretty cool. I got 2 of these signed. Now next we're moving on to the Crusher. This is from the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars. I got this from a friend of mine. I'm really hoping that it passes. You know, he's had quite a few autographs in a lot of people's holders that have passed, and we'll just have to see what happens. Next we have Magnum TA. This is when Magnum TA was really a big star in the NWA. This is the 1988 NWA Wonderama set, and this was put out by Jim Crockett Promotions, with Wonderama. And so anyway, unfortunately in 1986, Magnum TA got into a terrible car accident and was really considered paralyzed at first. And really, I guess he just lost, and I shouldn't even say I guess he just lost. He lost complete control of his lower extremities for quite some time, and he was never able to wrestle again. I think this is a great looking card. I just got this one off eBay for $7 or $8, and I want to send this in and try to get in the slab. Next we move on to Buddy Rogers. Hopefully this passes. This came from the same guy that the Crusher came from. The card's not in the best of shape, but having a Buddy Rogers signature on a 1983 Wrestling All-Stars would be very cool. This photo is actually with him and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. He managed Snuka, and in 82, 83, Snuka was huge in Madison Square Garden. So he would come out with him, and nevertheless, this is a great card if it gets in a holder. Next, we move on to Steve Keirn. I got to meet Steve Keirn, I guess about 1.5 years ago. I live in Orlando, Florida, and he was running FCW for the WWE. They've since merged it into their NXT division, and so he's really no longer running the show. But nevertheless, went to a wrestling match right up the street at the Armory on Fern Creek Road. And so anyway, my brother and I walked in, and we saw him and saw Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and just basically approached both of them and said, hey, would it be cool if we got some autographs? I live right down the street. They said that'd be great. Came back with the cards, and so I've already got the Steamboat in a holder. I want to get the Steve Keirn in a holder. This is one more from the Jimmy Hart signing. This is actually 1985 O-Pee-Chee Series 2. What's interesting is the card grading companies have chosen 85 because of the copyright on the back, but if you actually look at a lot of the photos, many of them come from WrestleMania 2, which happened in April in 1986. So they really obviously can't be from 85 if WrestleMania 2 took place 4 months later. Next, we have Superstar Billy Graham. He was doing a signing with American Icon out in California, and at the last second, I decided to send some cards out there. Got 3 of these signed. Actually, sold one to a board member, and he has already submitted his, and I guess it got a PSA 7 in terms of the grade. So, needless to say, got a couple of these. Superstar Billy Graham was obviously a huge trendsetter in the wrestling business, and got 2 of these right here. Next, we move on to Nature Boy Ric Flair. This right here is the 1986 Carnation, and the only time I've ever really met Ric Flair was backstage at a TNA show here in Orlando, Florida, and I happened to bring a card at the last second, and it was a Carnation card, and I got him to sign it backstage, and I was very, very excited. That card's already in a PSA holder. But Rick was doing a signing in Chicago in the last year, and a board member, Jay Weiston, helped me out, and we worked a deal, and he brought my cards out there, and so this is pretty cool. Now, what you're going to find right here, this particular example is creased, so it looks gem mint, and really, it's a beautiful, beautiful card with a beautiful signature, but it is creased, and so it's still a very neat item. The last 2 cards. This is the Ric Flair from the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars, and it's such a neat shot. I just, about 2 weeks ago, with the Jerry Lawler and Jimmy Hart on the inside cover magazine, the other magazine I got in the lot was from the month before, which was January and February of 1980, and so had this picture of Ric Flair on the back, and I believe this is from 1978 or early 79, but here you see Ric Flair, old school Ric Flair, before he went on to be arguably, probably the best wrestler ever. Obviously, Hulk Hogan is the most famous wrestler, but Ric Flair, has so many great moments of talking, and you can go on YouTube and entertain yourself for hours. So, needless to say, I wanted nice copies. This was a PSA 9 OC that I cracked out, and this next one. This one was a 6, and I'm not exactly certain why, but it was. And so needless to say, both of these are good-looking cards. I'm going to be sending these in sometime this month for the PSA special, and I'm going to post a video with the results with them in the holder. Have a great night.